Okay, Thursday before we go on our first conference road game. Still a lot of work to do, still a lot of things to clean up. Once again, I think the defense has had a really good week, which is always important when you go on the road. Better play really good defense, you got to take care of the ball.
Speaking of defense, you've talked about the number 2 cornerback position being an issue. Why isn't Ryan Henderson playing? He had pretty good performance at the end of camp.
Yeah, we try to look at everybody, and Ryan just really hasn't been up with that first group, and that just happens sometimes. You got certain numbers, and you go with what you feel who should be there, and Ryan will be ready, just like all our guys. You never know.
What is it about Trojan Harris that you feel he's a guy that can be at the head of that group?
Well, because we've seen it. I think Trojan was playing really, really well at the beginning of last season. And it would be hard to argue that he wasn't playing as well as Nikel at the time. Nikel took off in the middle and later part of the year, of his sophomore year, but Trojan was playing really well, very fast, very long. And I think when he's completely right, I think Trojan's really good, and we've seen it on film, so we don't have to guess.
Did playing 5 and 6 defensive backs against Syracuse kind of help these corners that missed camp get back in group of things?
Yeah, it did. I think you're right. You look at guys like Bacham, who did not practice very much during camp, like Trojan Harris, who did not practice very much during camp. Those guys missed a lot of time, and so you can see it. They're a little rusty out there. Fortunately, we were able to play them and still win the game, and so I think they'll continue to get better.
Lane, obviously Kobe Fleener's gone, but what's the challenge like having to face 2 tight ends of their caliber with Twilolo and Ertz?
Yeah, mismatch issues, and they go after you. They're gonna split them out and make you cover them. So they do a really good job with that. They got us last year on one, and I'm sure they'll try again.
Is it SCO that with their linebacker coming back? How does that affect things, in terms of game planning against them?
Well, I don't really think that much game plan. They don't change their scheme. I just think, it's another veteran player in there who makes a bunch of plays, and really, I think the key to their defense is they're really smart, so they don't give up a bunch of big plays, especially in the run game, and they're very physical. They give you issues, and they have really good sack numbers over the years, but it's the amount of hits that they get on the quarterback. They do a really good job, and they're coached to play very physical and to finish on the quarterback very physical, after the ball's thrown, and they do a good job.
What kind of week does Cyrus have?
Cyrus done some good things. He's taken some reps at guard and center for us, as well as Abe. So, we have great confidence no matter who goes in.
Yesterday, you said X and Randall first day picks. Did you mean first day as in first round or first day as in old format, first 3 rounds?
No, I think they will. I think they'll eventually be first day. First round picks. We're right there. Now, obviously, they got to continue to develop, but they have the potential to do that. I think if you ask any scout when they come out there and they watch them practice and watch them play, I think you'd hear a lot of the same.
Is the number of road games you have to start the season, is that an advantage or disadvantage?
Well, I think it's an advantage for the long run. I think it's a disadvantage, right away. As you look at some other schools, a lot of times they don't leave home early. They schedule some easy wins, and so they can rest their players and not have some things like happened to us late in the game last week on the road. So it's just different styles.
How has Antoine Woods performed compared to your expectations for him through his first 2 games, both in terms of stamina and in terms of overall skill level?
Well, I think stamina, he's done a great job. Really a great off-season, dropped the weight. He hadn't played before, and so I think he'll be another example, just like we've had in the 2 years of the past, of guys that we force in there as as first-year players that they continue to develop.
Is there a sense of this group wanting to do this for the seniors, considering how they never do this thing?
No, we don't talk about that. That doesn't, all of a sudden what are you going to do, try harder? So I don't really understand that philosophy. We just try to prepare really well every day.
Is there a different philosophy on defense when you're playing pro-style team? You try to get these guys in kind of a different mindset where it's more of like attacking instead of open field tackles?
Well, I don't know. I think that, as you look at these guys, they've moved the ball over the years really well by being very physical and coming downhill at you. And so as soon as you miss a tackle, they're not a sideline team, like some other teams we play. They're a downhill team, and you miss that tackle, their momentum's going forward.
What has Collette Holmes brought to this team and to your offensive line?
Great leadership, extremely intelligent player, and I think playing guard early has helped him, so that he basically knows what everybody does, and another great prospect.
the other day you said you guys keep winning and you guys keep following the polls. You'll be fine with that. Is that what you tell the team as well? Do you discuss that?
We don't even talk about polls because they fall under what we can't control, and so they know not to really get into it and not worry about it. Because as soon as you start doing that, your attention's somewhere else instead of your game plan.
In terms of having to perform?
No, we don't. Like I said, we don't care at all about that. The goal is to win the game. That's been the goal since football existed, and the last thing we're going to do is try to lead people in to impress some voters and risk injury. That's got nothing to do with what we're trying to get done. We're trying to win games, at the same time stay healthy, which unfortunately we haven't been able to do a very good job at.
Does Leonard Williams' role keep expanding week by week, do you think?
Yeah, I think anytime that you have a guy that's playing really well as a freshman, usually the reps go up as they get more comfortable in there and they learn their assignments and they're more productive.
What have you seen out of Stanford's quarterback on film?
He's taking care of the ball really well and very accurate too. A lot of times you see first-year guys and the ball's kind of fluttering all over the place because they're nervous, especially early in their first season. And he looks like he's been playing for a while, doing a great job.
If Wes is able to go, what does he bring? I mean, aside from the experience.
Yeah, Wes was playing really good last year, and he's good at the point. He's a good rusher. He can do both. He's a really good rusher and he can stop the run too. So it would be great to get him back.
One more.